Hello, my name is Michaela Russell, and you're watching Joburg Today.
Hello and welcome to Joburg Today. My name is Dumi Hlapo, bringing you the best of what's going down in and around Johannesburg. The internet has become the lifeblood of society across the globe. It provides access to jobs, public services and resources to citizens. Those who are unable to engage online or do not know how are often excluded from opportunities, and one of Africa's imperatives is to bridge this digital divide. We decided to find out how Digify Africa is addressing this challenge through its youth empowerment program.
The world is your oyster if you're African, have a computer, and know how to capitalize on social media and other digital opportunities. Africa as a whole has embraced technology at a staggering rate. It's estimated that there will be 360 million smartphone users in Africa by 2025. There are 100 million active users on Facebook in Africa each month. There is no doubt that Africa has embraced the digital economy, giving it the distinction of being the fastest growing digital consumer market on the planet, supported by the youngest and largest population. Digify Africa has put the youth at the forefront, offering them the opportunity to be skilled and employable.
I oversee the entire Digify Africa program, and that entails Digify Pro, which is our 3-month boot camp, which we've been running here in South Africa for almost 2 years. It's a pretty hardcore 11-week process, and every week we sort of focus on a different module, and we cover everything from social media strategy to content marketing to SEO, Google Analytics, understanding YouTube, understanding various sort of social media platforms, and then we also mixed into that some soft skills training as well, because I think it's quite important. You know, it's great to sort of give that background on the digital industry, but we also want to make sure that our graduates are prepared to go into actual jobs and they understand, you know, how to actually conduct an interview and what are the do's and don'ts in corporate settings. So we do infuse that learning within the program as well.
The DigiByte program is a 2-day program.
I think it's a great program in terms of anybody who is interested in communicating some kind of message online. So whether you have an organization or a company or a brand, if you want to understand how do you target certain people, how do you best package your information, how do you make use of a variety of Google products, right? So all of us use Google search at some point in the day. But how do you ensure that people, when they search for what you have, they find you? Right? How do you reach out to people on social media in an effective manner? So I think it's really beneficial if you have any kind of online engagement.
I've always been very interested in digital marketing, but I didn't know a means of getting into it because it's very expensive, and I'm currently studying adverts. So I thought, hey, I just heard about it online, and I thought this would be a great opportunity. So that's why I got into it.
I've always been very excited about what I want to do, but I think joining the program, that has just revitalized that excitement and has made me feel like, you know, anything is possible. And through Digify, I can see I am getting more equipped with the skills that I need to be able to thrive in this industry.
An important African goal is to bridge the digital gap. It therefore comes as no surprise that local and national governments on the continent are investing more resources to ensure that more Africans are included on the global digital map. In that context, it is very encouraging to note how Digify Africa is progressing with their vision when it comes to empowering the youth with digital skills. Nashina Mohammed for Joburg Today.
I'm Alan Foley and you're watching Joburg Today.
Like us on Facebook, joburgtoday.tv, and follow us on Twitter at Joburg Today. For businesses, the digital game is about attracting eyeballs. That means driving interest via the internet to products in a way that allows companies to engage with audiences. We caught up with Amorphous Digital Publishing, a company that has a clientele across Africa, to find out how they do it.
Granshipi, welcome to Joburg Today. Great to have you with us. We're hearing some amazing things about how you're shaking up the fashion and beauty industry, but I want to talk about Amorphous first. I mean, you latched onto a great opportunity all the way back in 1999. How competitive is the space now? And just take us back to your days of, your early days of origin.
Going back to the garage, and thanks for having me, We started almost 20 years ago now in the digital space. I was working in asset management, and one of the actuaries and I decided that this internet was a fantastic thing, and that we should really capitalize on the opportunity to just report to our investors. Previously it was you would get a large book on a 6-monthly basis that would get posted to you and hopefully arrive 9 months later. Whereas we said, well, hang on, we can actually tell you about your investment now. So we actually taught ourselves how to code and actually started doing an online platform for our company at the time.
That's fantastic. I mean, we're still using faxes back then, for goodness sake.
Oh, very much so. It was all fax.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't even have fax machines, you know, so we're reliant on quite outmoded technology.
How has this space, as a player, as a stakeholder, how has this space, the digital space when it comes to marketing and developing products, changed? Or how is it evolving and changing? I'm sure it's a lot more competitive now.
It's hugely more competitive. Probably when we started, there were 2 or 3 agencies in the country that had the skill sets. Now you're probably looking at 5 to 10 large-scale agencies, who the majority of which have been bought by the international advertising networks basically as a reach offering into the continent from either their Japanese or French headquarters. We sold to Times Media Group about 8 or 9 years ago, and then subsequently went independent a year and a half ago now.
Yeah.
So we're one of the few indie players left in the market.
Okay, let's come back to today's story. Tell us about actually what you're doing for your clients in the fashion and beauty industry.
We do a lot of content marketing, so developing content around the fashion and beauty segment, particularly for the Edcon group. Part of that service that we're offering was providing an advertising solution. So if you were a fragrance manufacturer in Paris, and you wanted to obviously get your product A onto a retailer's shelves and then promote the purchase of that, we provide various channels to those retailers and those manufacturers and or brands. We then saw an immediate opportunity that what was being offered online was a little bit lackluster and not glossy enough, literally, because if you're the likes of a Chanel or a Hermes, you know, the kind of advertising that you do from a cinematography perspective, from a paper quality perspective, if you're going to print, how do we create its digital parallel on the one side?
How do you sex it up online?
How do you sex it? So how do you do things that are ultra HD? You know, how do you do things that are visually compelling, which is obviously so much of the heritage of these kinds of brands. And then on the other side of that, how do you take all the lessons that you've learned for what works in a performance medium like the internet and put those two things together? So it's sexy, glossy on the one side, but really going to sell your product on the other.
Sounds fascinating. What has the uptake been like?
So uptake is been pretty, well, I suppose we're actually quite comfortable with it. We've done some large campaigns for some of the large French fashion houses, which have gone hugely successfully well, and we're doing another set of campaigns now, obviously with the large retail push towards the end of the year, and then we are busy rolling out other verticals. So right now we have fashionbeauty.network. We are launching an eatdrink.network, which is obviously focused around alcohol consumption, recipes, food, health, and those kinds of advertisers and media sets. And then most recently we've just launched a businessdirectors.network, which is far more using exactly the same idea, but going towards business owners and business directors.
Okay, so this is definitely benefiting the brands. Well, just give us a sense of the brands. Are these big brands in Africa or international brands that you've attracted?
Yeah, so very much so. So we've got our first proof of concept client being Ericsson, the telco infrastructure provider, and that we're running the first POC campaigns across Africa now. So we're busy running their innovation awards across 39 countries.
This is great for Africa.
This is
This
fantastic
is fantastic
for
to have this kind of platform available.
No, absolutely. It's a powerhouse in the region, and we obviously test and learn, and it's a far more of a scientific experimental approach that says I have a hypothesis, You know, let's test the hypothesis in various markets with various creatives to an outcome, as opposed to, I suppose, would typically be a creative director-led approach, which says, I think all people will like this.
Yeah, sure.
And then you actually put that media in the market, and I suppose.
And you're confident this is going to appeal to consumers, the manner in which you're marketing?
Absolutely, because
consumers are bombarded every day
consumers
online
are bombarded
with product adverts.
So it's, I suppose, the old Google adage, which about if you can actually create these audiences and actually provide a far more relevance in the advertising.
I think that's where the competition is, to actually target consumers and to actually attract them.
Yes. So we work typically exactly the opposite way. So if you are I suppose, a TV channel or a business newspaper, for argument's sake, you would generate content to try and attract a viewer. We are using big data basically, and it's gone a little bit more stylish, and said, okay, so we know these people are interested in fashion.
Yeah.
What can I give them? So it's literally the other way around.
That's fantastic. Wonderful chatting to you.
Thank you so much.
Wish you all the best and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you so much.
That's all for today. For more on the city, do check out our playlist. From myself, Dumi Hlapo, and the Joburg Today crew, it's goodbye.